Lee Ha-yul and her younger brother are cornered by a ruthless gang, tied up and threatened with death. Agostic realizes he miscalculated the timing of his plan. X-Saint's descent into villainy is about to happen sooner than expected, and he has to act fast. A shining hero arrives in Jeju Island through the shadows. Her ally, the night-walking hero Shadewalker, nearly collapses after teleporting her there in daylight. Their only hope, reach the plane before it's too late. But back in the sky, the nightmare reaches its final act. The high schooler slips up, one wire is cut. Then the middle-aged man speaks out of fear, another wire gone. Only one remains. Now, all eyes turn to him, the last contestant. Arendor's voice rings with childlike delight. One last question. What oil do children love the most? The timer ticks down. 3 minutes, 2, 1. The man types desperately, IU. The villain pauses. The answer was, May oil, because Children's Day is May 5th. He giggles. Oh well, game over. Then, boom! The plane roars, flames burst, and screams echo through the clouds. Arendor's show ends with thunder, a cruel fairy tale turned tragedy. The sky was on fire as the passenger jet spiraled down. People screamed, clutching their seats, while smoke poured from both wings. And yes, this was being broadcast live to the entire world. Inside a control room, the Hero Association was in chaos. Reporters were flooding the building, the president was panicking, and only one person stayed silent. Our nation's top hero, Celestine. She stared up at the falling plane, jaw clenched. Even with all her strength, how could she possibly stop something moving 1,000 kilometers an hour? Then her earpiece crackled. Hello, Celestine. Her breath hitched. That voice, it was Astrius, the world's most unpredictable villain. You're just going to watch them crash? He asked calmly. Oh, don't pretend to care, she snapped. You're the one who caused this. He only laughed. You can save them. I know you can. Fly up there, catch the plane, and be the hero they believe in, because that's who you are. And just like that, the line went dead. For a moment, Celestine froze. Was he mocking her? Manipulating her again? But the words stuck in her head. You can do it. Maybe he was crazy. Maybe she was crazier for believing him, but doing nothing wasn't an option. With a deep breath, she launched herself into the sky. Wind roared in her ears as she broke through the clouds, spotting the falling jet. Faster, faster, until she slammed her hands against the nose of the plane. Metal screamed, flames scattered, but the descent slowed, inch by inch, second by second. She forced it down until the jet finally hit the ocean with a massive splash, sliding across the water instead of exploding. Silence. Then the sound of people crying, laughing, cheering. Through the shattered cockpit glass, they saw her, Celestine, trembling, drenched, but smiling. One passenger whispered the word that everyone felt. Hero. And across the world, news anchors shouted in every language, She did it! The hero stopped the crash! That day, a nation held its breath, and a villain somewhere in the dark smiled, knowing that his enemy had just proven why he admired her most. The world was buzzing. News anchors everywhere replayed the same moment to the impossible rescue. The hero Celestine had stopped a falling plane with her bare hands, saving every single passenger. Reporters praised her, experts doubted her, and yet there she was alive. But while the world celebrated, Celestine sat alone, staring at her trembling hands. Her strength had changed, grown beyond what she thought possible. How could that happen overnight? She thought back to that call the villain Astrius, the one who dropped the plane in the first place. His voice still echoed in her mind. You can do it. Stop the plane from falling. He said it like he truly believed her power was limitless, and somehow it worked. But why would he tell her to save the plane he was trying to destroy? Was it all part of some twisted plan? Or was there something else behind those words? As she sat there, the public was condemning Astrius, calling him a monster. Yet Celestine couldn't shake this strange feeling. He didn't want anyone to die. He caused chaos, yes, but always just short of catastrophe. It was as if every disaster he started was meant for her. He'd said it before. Without you, I'm just a common villain. You complete me. The words felt too personal, too sincere. Was it obsession? Admiration? A message? Whatever it was, Celestine couldn't ignore it anymore. If he was truly just a madman, his crimes would make no sense. But if there was a pattern, if there was meaning behind the madness. She stood up, determination in her eyes. Astrius, she whispered, whatever you're planning, I'll find out. Meanwhile, far away, Astrius sneezed mid-conversation. Weird, he muttered. Why do my ears tickle? Is someone talking about me? And somewhere in that quiet moment, both hero and villain unknowingly began walking the same path toward truth and toward each other. So, our delightfully chaotic villain Lucian decides it's time for a vacation with his crew, Mira and Hana, and they're off to Busan. Why? Because Hana has never seen the sea, and Lucian's idea of a getaway naturally involves a trunk full of guns and gadgets. Naturally, Hana protests. They can't take the KTX with all this gear, but Lucian just smirks and drives on. After a grueling 5-hour ride, they arrive at Hyundai Beach. Hana runs ahead like a child discovering magic. Lucian flops on a mat under a parasol, and Mira hands him a drink. The three soak in the calm, marveling at how peaceful it is after weeks of villainous chaos. It's a rare moment of normalcy. If your normal involves plotting disasters and dodging heroes, that is. Of course, Lucian can't fully relax. His mind drifts to all the havoc he's caused. 4 villains eliminated, 3 major shows, and let's not forget the infamous plane stunt. Hana thanks him quietly for saving her life and treating her well. Lucian flinches internally, because in comics, heartfelt moments like this usually mean betrayal or doom is around the corner. Tension, check. After a full day exploring Busan, they finally check into the luxurious 5-star Sangwon Hotel. Lucian grumbles about the English name. Of course, he'd nitpick that. Only 1 room is reserved, which immediately sparks a hilarious debate. Hana worries about saving money, Lucian protests, and Mira cheekily suggests all 3 of them should share the massive bed. Authority? Totally ignored. Comedy gold. As they settle in, Lucian tunes into the news. And surprise! Stardust and Frostvale, the icy heroine in charge of Busan, are still on 24-hour duty after all the hero chaos. Lucian sympathizes a little, thinking, someone's got to keep the city safe. Meanwhile, Hana grabs a drink from the minibar, completely ignoring the astronomical hotel prices. Classic Hana. Finally, lights off, everyone lies down together on the massive bed. Hana whispers about how much fun the day was. Mira drifts to sleep quickly, and Lucian finally lets himself relax. Or so he thinks. Cue the nighttime tension! Suddenly, chaos erupts. Heavy footsteps, bangs, screams, and loud shouting outside their room. FBI, open up! Someone is storming the hotel, Lucian groans. Because of course the calm night can't last. Hey starlings, buckle up, because this chapter is pure chaos with a villain twist. We're back with Lucian, Mira, and Hana, and they just went from luxury hotel vibes to full-on terrorist nightmare. It's late at night at the Sangwon Hotel, Busan's finest, until a group of masked terrorists burst in shouting, FBI, open up! Seriously, the world just loves to ruin Lucian's life. They take over floors, break doors, and gather hostages. Lucian wakes up groggy, spots the intruders, and with his telekinesis, knocks them out like it's a warm-up. Classic anti-hero entrance. Mira and Hana wake up to the chaos. Though Hana is barely phased, she's basically desensitized to terrorism by now. Lucian quickly packs the essentials, handguns, his yellow mask, wireless comms, and preps the girls. He gives them a crash course in stay alive and pretend to be hostages. Talk about parenting under fire. The trio navigates the chaotic floors, dodging yelling terrorists and scared civilians, until they teleport down to the lobby. And the lobby? Complete disaster. Chairs barricade the entrances. Masked soldiers patrol, and at the center of it all sits the A-class villain, Monkey Spanner, pirate beard, cigar, and the energy of a villain boss straight out of an action movie. He announces a massive hostage situation to the cameras, demanding a ransom. But here's the twist. As Monkey Spanner yells, clapping breaks out among the hostages. Everyone's heads turn, shocked. And it's Lucian, casually clapping in the chaos like he's the star of the show. Talk about stealing the spotlight. Everyone stops, even Brass Tusk and his goons, blinking like, what the? Because who just shows up in a clown-like mask and claps at a hostage scene? Only someone with pure audacity and flair, that's who. Lyric doesn't even reveal her name. Nope. None of your business, she teases, with that sly, theatrical grin. Already she's completely outsmarting the villain in charisma alone. And then, boom, Brass Tusk jumps down to attack, thinking he's got the upper hand. But Lyric, poof, gone, teleported. Now she's sitting cross-legged on top of his chair tower, like she's had a full day of yoga. And just like that, she flips the tables, literally. The goons' guns float out of their hands, aim themselves at their owners, and in seconds, the chaos is over. Dozens of villains neutralized before anyone can even blink. Lyric just sits there, yawning like it's nap time, totally calm. Classic Lyric energy, terrifyingly powerful, but playful, dramatic, and teasing every single enemy in sight. So remember, friends, in Lyric Veil's world, even a clownish mask and a loud clap can completely change the tide of battle. Villains beware, this isn't just a fight, it's a performance, and Lyric is the star. The lobby explodes into screams and confusion. Marvin sits cross-legged, picks at his ear as if adjusting a costume, and makes it all look like a rehearsal. The original plan? Simple. Provoke the villainous Gideon tap dance with a flashy display of telekinesis, eliminate the henchman in one smooth motion, then vanish with his friends Soon and Subin. But oh, plans never survive reality. His telekinesis burns him out after that one epic display, leaving him frozen mid-chaos classic Marvin drama. Enter Plan B, bluffing. He pretends he's untouchable, a looming shadow of power, while buying time for the real heroes to arrive. And arrive they do, Astra, Nightshade, and Glacier, stepping in like an all-star squad, only to find the battlefield already cleared of the henchmen. Marvin's handiwork, a symphony of destruction, executed with style and not a single bystander harmed. Now the heroes are confused. Who is this yellow-masked phantom sitting cross-legged above the carnage? Marvin spins a tale. He's Apple Mango, a secret S-class hero, a ridiculous name, yes, but brilliant for deception. The heroes hesitate, unsure whether they're looking at a hero or a villain, giving Marvin just enough time to regain his strength and prepare for the next move. The genius here? Bluff, theatrics, and psychological warfare. Even in his weakened state, Marvin commands attention, controls the battlefield, and keeps everyone guessing. A masterclass in crisis management, and all while sitting cross-legged on a chair tower, mask gleaming, and uttering the most absurdly heroic lie in history. So remember, dear viewers, sometimes survival isn't about raw power, it's about wit, timing, and a ridiculously good sense of showmanship. Marvin, he leans into the act, trash-talking, over-the-top arrogance, throwing in random TMI about the association president, all to confuse and stall the heroes. North Sea Ice Girl doubts him. Stardust and Shadow Walker are cautiously assessing. And Marvin? He's laughing like a madman, then lowers his voice, feigning a villainous threat, sending shivers down their spines, before flipping it all into a joke. Classic Marvin theatrics. And just when the tension peaks, he's ready. Strength returning, plan executed. Teleport behind his friends, grab Seo Yoon and Subin, and vanish. In moments, they're gone, leaving the heroes bewildered and the hotel chaos intact but under control. Marvin's last move, ensuring the S-class hero persona Apple Mango sticks in their minds, buying them precious time. Marvin Vale walks away exhausted but victorious, proving once again that brains, theatrics, and a little chaos can beat raw power any day. Today's spotlight, none other than the self-proclaimed S-class hero, Apple Mango. Yes, that's right, Apple Mango. The masked figure who's been breaking the internet ever since the Busan Hotel incident. First, he neutralized the terrorists faster than anyone else. Then, when 3 A-class heroes arrived, he casually told them to use honorifics. Seriously. He even claimed he'd hung out with the association president at a sauna. Totally random, totally bizarre, totally Apple Mango. But the internet didn't just stop at his antics. People started digging. And guess what they found? Evidence pointing straight to his villain persona. Agnostic. Telekinesis? Check. Teleportation? Check. Same body shape and voice? Check. The netizens went wild. Apple Mango is agnostic became the trending topic overnight. And it doesn't stop there. His knowledge about the association president's name change? Purely uncanny. How does he even know that? Conspiracy theories are flying. Was Agnostic an S-class hero in the past? Did he have a falling out with the association? Nobody knows, but people are hooked. Finally, his powers. Up until now, experts thought his abilities were weak. But he just held dozens of guns in the air with telekinesis and teleported across Busan like it was nothing. The man's hiding strength and the country is taking notice. In short, Apple Mango, aka Agnostic, is the talk of the town. A hero, a villain, nobody's entirely sure, and that's exactly why everyone's obsessed. Shinharu's suspicions about Agnostic, they didn't start yesterday. Ever since the plane attack, she's been questioning him. That phone call, he trusted her to stop the plane. What kind of villain would say that to a hero? She couldn't call him a villain, not fully. Stardust investigated him thoroughly. 3 attacks, 0 casualties. A ship, a train, an airplane, all under Agostic's involvement. Coincidence? Maybe. But Shinharu started noticing a pattern. Agostic's actions weren't random. Explosive inspections improved, cybersecurity strengthened, villain activity dropped, and Stardust herself. She became stronger from intervening in his crises. It all pointed to something unusual. Agostic might be a villain, but his moves had a strange purpose. Removing dangerous villains, preventing casualties, seemingly pushing heroes to grow stronger. Shinharu even accessed high-security files. She learned about S-class villains Agostic neutralized, those with the potential for catastrophic destruction all handled efficiently. Yet Agostic operated outside the usual hero framework, staying in the shadows while still influencing outcomes. So what was he really? A villain? A hero? An anti-hero? His apple mango persona, combined with his ambiguous actions, only deepened the mystery. Shinharu's intuition told her one thing. Agostic isn't simply a villain. He's complicated, a wild card, and the next time he strikes, she's determined to figure him out. Meanwhile, Agostic's infamous nickname went gone. Apple Mango. Why that? Shinharu couldn't help but wonder if there was a deeper meaning behind it. In short, Agostic is no ordinary villain, and the line between hero and villain is blurrier than ever. Deep underground in Seoul, Agostic convenes a private meeting. This apple mango thing, it was all necessary, he says, explaining his plans to Seiyun and Subin. He's serious. His identity as a villain is becoming blurred even to himself. With Stardust growing stronger and the world's balance shifting, he realizes, sometimes the best move is to hide. I'll lie low for now. People will forget me, he declares. Seiyun and Subin are stunned, but Agostic has a plan. While he stays out of the public eye, he can still prepare for the future, observing, planning, and ensuring Stardust walks a flower road. Agostic reflects on past actions. Most early villains have been dealt with, terrorist attacks have been minimized, and Stardust has become more powerful. For now, he can relax, but only briefly. His true goal emerges: prevent potential villains from turning dangerous, recruit them, and create a massive organization, a union of future villains. He even names it Ego Squad. And yet, even while hiding, Agostic allows himself small pleasures. Logging onto the Stardust Union fan cafe, he admires Stardust's heroic moments, participates in fan contests, and heals from the stress of his actions. Meanwhile, Shinharu grows restless. Agostic has been quiet for 3 months since the hotel incident, unlike his usual pattern. She can't help but feel uneasy. Where is he? For now, Agostic is hidden, planning, observing, and taking care of himself. But the world waits, and when the next big incident comes, his influence will surely be felt. 3 months of silence. Agostic, the infamous apple mango, has gone completely off the grid. Fans are losing their minds. On forums and fan cafes, they post desperate messages, grind their nails, and even joke about extreme measures just to get a glimpse of him. "Where's Mango Stick? Come back!" they cry. Meanwhile, Shinharu watches from the sidelines, uneasy. Agostic's disappearance is unusual. No incidents, no chaos, just quiet. A calm that feels ominous. Even as she goes about her daily life college, studying at cafes, handling minor villains, she can't shake the feeling that something big is brewing. Could he really just be taking a break? Or is this another layer of his plan? Back at Agostic's underground base, he's anything but idle. Watching Stardust in action, snacking on popcorn, enjoying her fights against minor villains like Rock Bottom, he basks in the thrill of the spectacle. Watching fights is the most fun thing to do, he mutters, eyes glued to the screen. Even So-eun joins him, slightly amused, slightly exasperated. But Agostic isn't just resting, he's observing, waiting, calculating, the calm before the next storm. 3 months of peace, but the world isn't safe forever. Stardust's strength has grown. Minor villains are being handled. And Agostic, he's readying himself for when it's time to act again. And now, with his minions and plans, it's almost time to re-emerge. Agostic's plan takes a darker turn. This time, it's not about chaos or destruction, it's about recruitment. The target? A high school girl with extraordinary healing abilities, Lee Hayul. Once a victim of the orphanage system, now a potential villain whose powers make her a dangerous asset. Agostic observes her life from the shadows. She survives by pickpocketing, caring for her younger brother, and keeping a low profile. Her mistrust of humanity runs deep, and that's exactly why Agostic's plan works. Through a carefully calculated suspension bridge effect, he allows her to steal his wallet repeatedly, slowly building a strange connection. Each time the money inside increases, each encounter designed to intrigue her, to make her notice him. The ultimate goal? To become her guardian, to earn her trust and fold her into the agnostic villain alliance, a first step toward controlling the villains of the future. Perfectly executed, his plan unfolds while he watches from his underground base, laughing at the brilliance of it. But just as everything seems in motion, an unexpected alert arrives. A gang has appeared, threatening her safety. Agnostic's next move is about to begin. This chapter is all about rescue. The stakes are high. Lee Ha-yul and her younger brother are cornered by a ruthless gang, tied up and threatened with death. Agnostic realizes he miscalculated the timing of his plan. Ex-Saint's descent into villainy is about to happen sooner than expected, and he has to act fast. Dashing out with his cape, mask, and guns, Agnostic storms into the scene. Chaos erupts, bullets fly, lights flicker, and the gang scrambles in panic. In a tense, darkened room, Agnostic demonstrates his lethal efficiency, taking down the intruders one by one while protecting the siblings. Finally, the house falls silent. Bloodied but in control, Agnostic stands victorious. But the tension is broken unexpectedly. The younger brother blurts out, "Mango stick!" In the middle of the bloody aftermath, Agnostic freezes, caught off guard by the innocence and timing of the boy's words. Agnostic's plan moves forward, but now the lying begins. After rescuing Lee Ha-yul and her brother, he brings them to his underground basement, a high-tech hideout they've never seen before. The siblings are cautious and suspicious, especially Lee Ha-yul, but Agnostic navigates their distrust carefully. With the help of Seo-eun and Subin, the kids are cleaned up, given fresh clothes, and guided around. Agnostic lies to gain their trust, fabricating a story about a deceased brother to relate to Lee Ha-yul's situation, while subtly promising safety, schooling, and a home. By the next morning, the siblings are introduced to his 3-story mansion, complete with fully equipped rooms and luxuries they've never imagined. Lee Ha-yul is still wary, but her younger brother's admiration for Agnostic as the infamous mango stick accelerates their acceptance. Agnostic now has the perfect setup to recruit Lee Ha-yul, keeping her close, observing her, and subtly laying the foundation for future manipulation.